Oh my gosh, you all came. I was prepared for everybody to bail because I almost did. This is not the time of year to be going anywhere or doing anything, which is how I am most winters, even without this much snow. It's like the seasonal affective thing, but then the other problem that I always have is that I've never really been clear on the difference between depression and relaxation. The only thing I'm sure about is just that I spend so much time lying down in the dark surrounded by snacks. Is it luxury or a cry for help? I'm not sure. I think I've almost recovered from Christmas. January's nearly done, so I hope I'm recovered from Christmas. It was tough because I always get confronted with the stuff I haven't succeeded in doing. Like I ran into my best friend from grade 6. And my best friend from grade 6 has 4 kids. My best friend from grade 6 has 4 kids. I don't have forks. That's where I need to tell you that the other thing I haven't been succeeding at is that's actually a really old joke. I need to update my material, so I've tried. And the updated version of that joke is that I'm the oldest in my family. I have younger siblings. Everyone in my family is in the medical field. My youngest brother, the baby, is a surgeon. He's married to another doctor, and they have 2 little kids under the age of 2. So he and his wife are both doctors and have 2 babies. I lost my health card and have tuberculosis. I assume I have no way to ever find out. I'm not jealous of the fact that other people in my life have kids, though I'm not planning on it. I love them, but I've never, ever felt the urge to grow my own, you know? I was, however, I was pregnancy adjacent recently. And here's what I mean by that, which is just, I was pregnancy adjacent because I had sex with a woman who was lactating. And this is usually the point in sets where I need to then talk about being queer, but with you folks, I instead need to clarify that I'm not a lesbian, despite this haircut. I'm not a full lesbian. Huge fan of their work. I tried to be fully gay. I tried to only date women and non-binary people. You know what? It didn't stick. Turns out I like everybody. So I had to be true to myself. But then the other thing I realized is that I had to be bisexual for spite. Because in the past, I've dated some really terrible men, and I don't want them to ever be able to excuse the failure of our relationship. Well, Laura was gay, so it didn't work out. It's like, excuse me, I'm not gay. You're just an asshole. So that's fine. I fixed it, so I do date all genders, but I stopped dating straight men, and that solved almost all of my problems. But it did bring in a couple of new, very specific ones. For one thing, like, people might see me with a male partner and assume that we're a straight couple, and like, come on, like, just open your minds. Like, bisexual invisibility is so frustrating. But then the other thing that just really just drives me up the wall about being like a queer cis woman dating a queer cis man is that every time we 69, we're both so jealous of what the other person is getting to do. I need to be honest with you that actually the only men I've been seeing recently are actually really slim. So we can't 69 like per se. Like, we can do the things, but it doesn't. It looks more like an 18 or an 81. That's a joke about me being fat, which I am fine with. Fine with it. I'm sturdy as hell. Some people, not so fine with it. Some people are so fine with it that there's a multi-million-dollar porn industry based around it. But one thing I've noticed is that I don't hear the term like chubby chaser that often anymore. I used to see that a lot, even in online dating and stuff. Instead, what I'll get is like woke dudes coming up to me privately saying like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I'm like super into radical body positivity. Thank you. Oh my gosh, sploosh. ending on the body positivity wave and bring it back to the lactation that I mentioned earlier, because I don't want you to think that I'm objectifying this woman. I'm not at all. It's amazing. That's amazing that a body can grow and feed a child. That's incredible. And I would never make fun of her for it. She's not being objectified by this story at all. In fact, going into that sexual encounter, I didn't even know that she was lactating. I knew she had a young child, but I didn't know that the means of production had yet to shut down and that I would have the opportunity to seize them. It was actually the other people there that had to point out to me that she could still breastfeed. Oh, did I not mention it was a four-way? That's not even relevant to this joke. That's not a brag, because it wasn't a good one. Some group sex is amazing, but this was not the best. Basically, picture the most disappointing sex you've ever had with your partner, and then imagine 3 people not caring if you come or not. However, I did get to taste breast milk. I didn't ask. It would be rude to ask. But I feel like it would be ruder to decline the offer. So it was offered, here, have a squirt. I did. You know what? Pretty good. Here's the weird part. I'm vegan. I haven't tasted real dairy in about 3 years. So I had to do it, right? Because when in my life am I ever going to get the chance again for consensual milk? I appreciate the support on this, I really do. But as I said, it didn't really otherwise work out with this person, so I didn't see her again. I wish we could have spent just a little bit more time together, though, at least until I had my coffee the next morning. But I have spent enough time with you, and you have been incredible. Thank you so much. I've been Laura Labia. I'm going to bring Shanty back up here.